What if I told you the U.S. Army proved black men could be officers, then immediately shut down the program that proved it? May 1917. The Army said black Americans weren't intelligent enough to lead soldiers, weren't brave enough, weren't capable of commanding troops in combat. Then they got an offer they couldn't refuse: prove us wrong or accept that lie forever. 1,250 men answered the call. According to National Park Service records, they came from Howard, Harvard, Yale, Tuskegee, the best universities in America. 40% were college graduates. Another 250 were non-commissioned officers from the legendary Buffalo Soldiers, the 9th and 10th Cavalry, the 24th and 25th Infantry. These were America's elite black minds and most experienced black soldiers, all converging on Fort Des Moines, Iowa. Here's what makes this remarkable. They had less than 30 days' notice. As historian George H. Woodson documented in 1917, the superb youth, the very best brain, vigor, and manhood of the race, gave up comfort, position, future promise, and outlook in their various civil locations, and from the north, south, east, and west, started on their voluntary march to Fort Des Moines. They knew the odds. The War Department expected them to fail. Secretary of War Newton Baker was so worried about an embarrassing failure that, according to Army correspondence, he literally confused Des Moines with Dubuque in a letter to the president. They picked Iowa specifically because it was so far off the radar that when these men failed, the Eastern media wouldn't notice. Lieutenant Colonel Charles Ballou ran the camp. White officers taught the courses. The training was brutal. 5:45 in the morning until 9:45 at night. Trench warfare, infantry drill, bayonet combat, map reading, regimental organization. According to historical documentation, many of the white instructors didn't take the job seriously. They saw the camp as a waste of time. The program was supposed to last 3 months, ending in September. But the War Department delayed it, then delayed it again. Historical records show that nearly half the candidates quit, convinced the War Department never intended to commission colored men as officers in the Army. But 639 refused to quit. On October 15, 1917, they stood for graduation. 106 captains, 329 first lieutenants, 204 second lieutenants. They became the first large class of black officers in United States military history. Among them, Charles Hamilton Houston, who would become NAACP Board Chair and the architect of the legal strategy that dismantled segregation. Future co-founders of the National Bar Association. Leaders who would shape civil rights for the next 50 years. Then, the Army shut it down. According to Army Historical Foundation documentation, this was to be the first and only class to graduate from Fort Des Moines. The War Department shut it down soon after their departure. One class, 639 officers. Then, closed. Future black officer candidates had to train in Puerto Rico, the Philippines, Hawaii, Panama, anywhere but a major training facility on American soil. The message was clear: we'll let you prove yourselves once, but we're not making this easy to repeat. These officers were assigned to the 92nd Division and sent to France. They weren't just fighting Germans. Historical accounts confirm they were fighting white commanders in their own army who rejected their authority, questioned their competence, and worked tirelessly to undermine their leadership. But here's what the Army couldn't erase. They proved the lie wrong. Black men could lead, could command, could fight with distinction. And 31 years later, President Truman integrated the military, a direct result of what these 639 men demonstrated in World War I. Fort Des Moines wasn't just a training camp. It was a test designed for failure that became proof of excellence. And the Army's response to that proof? Shut it down and hope history forgets. So here's my question. If they were successful, why shut it down? If they proved they could lead, why make it impossible to repeat? Drop your answer below. If this is the first time you're hearing about Fort Des Moines, share this. These men earned their place in history. It's time we remember their names.